Friends, happy Thursday afternoon. Let's cover the news real quick. I've got some just little kind of an analysis or little key points I want you to think about here, and then let's cover the news real quick. I want you to think about something. The first half of the government, they didn't play the games in the news. They didn't, like when they were the first step in the formation, they were putting together their parliament. They didn't give you fake dates for having sessions of parliament. It was just one and done. They had one date, went and did it. And they did it when they said they were going to do it. With the presidential aspect now, we're going on to the third attempt to have and hold a session of parliament to vote the president. I want you to think about this. So again, back when they were forming the parliament aspect of the government, they didn't lie to you. Now they are. I want you to think about something. If there were certain things happening within the formation of the government that you knew when it would happen and who was going to achieve that position, very specifically being the prime minister, you could, if you were a good, smart, deep thinker, you could use that information to gauge and have an approximate guess as to when the rate's going to change. Now, I want you to think about that. They're hiding things from us. They're hiding the date as to when they're going to do the president. They're not even giving us real information about who the selected top pick for prime minister is. We don't even know the date the prime minister will be announced. Okay? So I want you to think about that. There's things they're lying and hiding to you because they have to. If you were a sharp, critical, analytical thinker, you could use that data to identify approximately when the rate will be changing. Think about that. And right now, all we know is that sometime next week is when they will have and hold a session of parliament to tackle and complete the president. But again, they're on their third attempt of that, and they keep lying to us and hiding things from us. The more they lie and hide things from you, the closer you are to your blessing. Think about that. Let's get into the news now. Trade, Iraq has returned strongly to the international investment and development map. Absolutely. That's because they're now a sovereign state nation since the beginning of this year. They're ramping up to get back into the world of trade. Okay? They're right at the threshold of entering back and rejoining the World Trade Organization. Okay? So that's kind of what this article is telling you. Trade's ramped up because they're very close to going and becoming international since the beginning of 26. Let's look at this article here. The central bank presents its plan to the U.S. Embassy to regulate the dollar. Why would you regulate the dollar now? Why not do it prior to 26? Unless timing is sensitive and it has to do with the sanctions coming off and Iraq going international and changing the rate. Think about that. Called timing. I pulled some interesting key points on this. Basically, I said, does this have anything to do with Iraq going international and maybe the OFAC sanctions coming off? Let's talk about it. Key players involved. Central Bank Governor Ali Alak, Josh Harris, U.S. Charged Affairs, cooperation with the United States Department of Treasury, Federal Reserve System, and OFAC. Okay? Is this about Iraq going international? Yes, absolutely. This meeting is about regulating dollar auctions, cleaning up foreign transfers, preventing money laundering, enforcing sanctions compliance. There you go. Meeting global banking standards. Those are called reforms because you have to be international to be working under or have those adhered to you, meeting global banking standards. All of those required for Iraq. Reconnect global banks, again, become international and out from underneath U.S. sanctions. Reconnect global banks, expand correspondent banking, increase foreign investment, trade, normally in dollars. Okay, join international financial systems. Trade in normally in dollars simply means foreign trade. Okay, because their primary trade would actually be the Iraq dinar. What is trying to fix for OFAC? Dollar smuggling, Iran-linked transfers, fake imports, sanctions evasion, weak bank controls. Again, the banking reforms will tackle that. This meeting focuses on fixing exactly those problems. Okay, specifically verified trade documentation, bank vetting, transaction screening, SWIFT monitoring, dollar tracing. There you go. Why is the U.S. supporting this now? A stable Iraq dinar, less Iranian financial influence, more Western-aligned banking, reduced black market activity. So again, the signs are very evident in front of you. There's more here if you'd like to check it out, okay? And Kurdish parties agree on Fahd Hussein as candidate for presidency again. I don't care. At this point, I'd rather just know what the date is that they're going to vote on him. All we have right now, it could possibly be Sunday or sometime next week. We've kind of had both of that pieces of information on the table. Iraq announces its support for negotiations between Iran and the United States and calls on Paris to open a direct air route with Baghdad. So there you go. It's again, it's Iraq's trying to be the middleman between the United States and Iran to keep peace and restore it. That's what this is about. Stability. Iraq to continue with 1/12 spending limit until the 26 budget is approved. The 1/12 is nothing more than the financial management law. It's what's utilized in place of a budget when there isn't one. That's pretty much what they used. Even though they approved a 3-year budget, they still were using the FML, the Financial Management Law, during those 3 years of 23, 4, and 5. New investment opportunities. New International Business Forum kicks off in Baghdad. Right here, Baghdad hosts the International Business Forum alongside the 49th Baghdad International Fair, emphasizing economic openness, investment promotion. The event highlighted the total investment in Iraq has exceeded $148 billion. With the announcement of 65 new investment opportunities. So there you go. Private sector and trade. Yep. It's because they're on the threshold of becoming and going international. U.S. State Department told Shafak News, we will use all our tools to prevent Maliki's return again. This article is the same as them not giving you, well, they will give it to you, but it's upon very short notice. Everything will be revealed and released to us upon very short notice. This is a distraction, but this goes along with them not giving us the dates. This goes along with them not revealing to us who the real prime minister is. Again, they're trying to show and portray instability. So you and I don't know when the rate's going to change. It's all this is, guys. And if you're not a sharp analytical thinker, it's just going to make you mad and upset you, which when they first came out talking about Maliki going in there, it made everybody mad. Okay? They succeeded. They did their job. That's all this is. It's nothing more than a distraction. Iraq raises its gold reserves and advances to the 28th place globally. Again, asset backing their currency because they're about to go international reserves. I think I posted that article twice. Yeah, I did. It's all good. Anyway. So Al-Awlaq and Harris affirm their support for monetary and economic stability to enhance political security in Iraq. You're right. To reduce freaking corruption. Political corruption has been the number one thing for the past 23 years that has prevented Iraq from going and becoming international. It's the central bank's number one delay from not allowing them to revalue. The election of the president of the republic will take place next week, regardless of the nature of the understanding. So there you go. Again, next week. That's all we have. But there was a little bit of information a couple days ago that possibly suggested or hinted Sunday. We'll see. So the Sudanese government directs the resolution of tax obstacles facing the private sector until the budget's approved. Plus, again, to get that revenue stream inside of the 26 budget, the rate has to change first, and then they have to do and complete the tax reforms, okay? The coordinating framework calls on all its representatives to be free in electing the president of the republic. That's pretty much the bulk of our news, guys. The rest of it's just not real critical stuff, plus it's older news. Anyway, let's see what happens again. Hopefully by this weekend, they will give us the date for the date. Hopefully by Saturday. If it's Sunday, they would tell you on Saturday, okay? They usually tell you, they give you, again, very short notice, but it's usually 24 hours of the day before that they're going to do something. And sometimes they mix a lot of lies in with it and say, oh, we're not doing it too. So again, right now, the political news is very untrustworthy, okay, and very misleading because, again, they don't want you to calculate. They don't want any of us to be able to calculate when the date that the rate's going to change or guess its approximation. Friends, you're the best. Thank you for joining and have a great evening. Take care.